Hypothetical for you.
Go on.
You've got a man, let's say you've been together for about a year, right? And an opportunity comes for you to collab with Jason.
Right.
But your guy goes, I'll let you do this, but from now on, it's open on my side and it's closed on your side.
This is why I'm not getting another relationship though. Because I don't like that. I don't like that there's going to be a position where I can't do something. I'm not allowed to do something. Even if it's just out of courtesy. If I would like to do something and I would feel bad doing it, I don't want to be in that position. So I just don't see a point in ever getting in a relationship again.
But you wouldn't feel bad doing it. He would say, hey, you have my blessing to do it.
But then the aftermath is not my ideal situation. So now I've ended up in a position I don't want to be in.
I see. So you would just, in that hypothetical, would you say no to the collab?
I don't know, because I wouldn't.
I could see you thinking about Jason's equipment in your head.
Concentrating.
You were like, oh, wow, that would be amazing.
Because as I stand at the minute, I would never be in a relationship again. Like, as far as I'm concerned, that's just done, 100% out. No one believes me, but 100% done.
Why?
Like, people think it's because I had bad experiences, obviously abusive exes, like cheating, all that sort of stuff. And my last relationship was about a year ago. And that I'd found out he'd been cheating on me like the entire time we'd been together, but he'd been making me feel like I'd been doing things to disturb our relationship because he was obviously doing things on the sly.
Right.
So after that, I said, right, I'm going to be single for a while, because up until that point, I was a serial monogamist. I could not have a boyfriend.
It's not that I don't believe you, but it's just interesting hearing, he does OnlyFans and collabs with people, be like, you're a serial monogamist.
I'd have a week or so, a couple of weeks of just I'd go in Larry, every Tom, Dick and Harry, and then I'll just end up talking to one more than other. Next thing I'm in, and that's it. And then I'm locked in for a year. But yeah, after that last one, I said I'm not going to do it again. I'm going to be single for a bit, because I've never stayed single for like longer than a few months, and I'm 30 now. So yeah, this needs to be a good choice. And I genuinely didn't think at that point I'll be off relationships. I thought at some point I will meet someone again, and that'll be that. And the state of things I've seen since being single has put me off. The amount of men in relationships who brazenly ask me to fuck them. Brazenly. On messages with proof, out and about in public, in front of people they know. No shame at all that they've got partners at home. Sometimes children at home.
I hear that. What percentage of men do you think that actually is?
From what I've seen, it's quite a lot. It's the people that I wouldn't have expected as well. A lot of people that you would see, they are the most wholesome, family-oriented. You would never.
But I guess you don't know if they're in an open relationship. They could be.
What do you think the chances are?
I'm saying it could be.
It could, but I'm reckoning it's not.
So
most times, I'm reckoning it's not.
If they were single, would you be more open to it?
What? Just.
Well, not like a guy randomly DMs you'd be like, hey, do you want to come over and have some fun? But I guess...
Well, it depends on what he looks like.
Maybe we would, right? But I guess... Because, I get you're saying no relationships, right? But I'm making an assumption. I'm guessing you're still open to having your own experiences, indulge, connect with people, even if it's not a monogamous kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I still see people and have, regular people that go and
regular
see
playmates.
Regular
playmates.
And, I have slightly different relationships with each one of them, but it is just that. Do you know what I mean? It's just friends, and then we have as fun, and then back to being friends again.
I think, and I completely hear, especially in your line of work, and I've heard other girls who do work in, as a sex worker, you kind of see the dark side of men. Yeah. And just being completely real, the industry you're in attracts those kinds of people. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So while I don't doubt that's the majority of your experience, I think there's a selection bias in that. Does that make sense?
I'd agree. I probably should have clarified. The gentleman I'm speaking about who contacted me, I'm not talking about people for work. The people for work, that's a completely separate issue. I am a service provider. That's what you choose to do with your relationships. None of my business.
Well, you say
I'm talking about people I know in my personal life. People I know from other industries that I'm part of.
Yeah, but that's
not
what I
the
mean,
sex
though.
industry.
Yeah, but that's what I mean though. Because they know you're in that kind of line of work.
Oh yeah, they feel comfortable.
It brings,
yeah.
it's like, oh, okay, this side, like the guys who want to entertain that side, they're like, okay, I can entertain this side with you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like out of 100 guys, maybe let's say 20, right? Are like, oh, they have this side that they want to indulge in. And then they meet you or they see what you do and they're like, oh, okay, cool. I can have this with Annalie.
Yeah.
And so they'll like reach out to you. But out of 100 guys, or you're just getting like hit up by like 18 guys, you're like all these guys are like married with kids. And I'm not saying it's okay, but I guess what I'm saying is the industry you're in attracts that side of the people who want to indulge in that.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah,
Do you know what
I think
mean?
so, because obviously there is a level of like discretion and confidentiality that goes with our job, as well as, like I said earlier, about it's like slightly fetishized. It's exciting. It's
sure.
You know, chances are if you message a random girl and message someone like me, if they fancy you, you're much more likely to get something back off me in terms of like, you know, nudes or something like that than you would maybe the average girl. Because
sure, yeah,
I don't care and it's all there anyway.
Because what I mean is, I doubt they would take that same approach with like you said, the average girl.
But that's what I mean. But it's because they feel comfortable doing it with me, which is why I feel like I'm seeing these sides of people that people don't know. So people don't know. People see these men and are like, oh, he loves his missus. Look at the anniversary post he put up. How delightful is that? Don't know, 2 days before he's trying to stick his hands down my trousers. And I'm like, fuck you doing? And then that's when I find out that they've got missuses, when they put it something on the internet. They're single until I find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not okay if, you know, it's not consensual. We don't condone that. But I guess, doesn't that raise the question? Because you kind of said, oh, well, you know, you can compartmentalize sex. Mm-hmm. So just because he wants to have sex with you, that doesn't mean he doesn't love his woman any less. That may be the case, but that she's not consented to him stepping outside of their relationship and stepping outside of their marriage. And I know how that felt, to have trusted someone to be doing what they said they were doing and reciprocating that loyalty. And I know how that felt to find out they hadn't been. So I would never, ever facilitate that, ever. Yeah. I guess it's, if you know for sure that she hasn't, but I guess you don't know unless, because like you said with your previous husband, right? You kind of said to him, okay, you can go do your thing, but don't tell me, I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah.
And so that could be it.
There were situations where I had to like send a voice note or a video or something confirming that this is actually the case. It's not a ploy of him trying to get a threesome and pretending he's got a wife. Or, do you know what I mean?
Right,
it's not some story.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did occasionally have to prove that, you know, there was consent on my part. But yeah, these women have no idea what their fellas are doing. And it's so sad as well, because they're the women that you'll see on like, when people put the Instagram reels up about cheating and they're like, yeah, I feel sorry for him, but it would never be my man. And I'm like,
it is your man.
It is. You just don't know. You've just not found out yet. That's all it is. That's the only difference between you and her. You've just not figured it out yet.
What do you think about monogamy then? Do you think it's natural for us? I
don't know. I don't think so. I think the alternative's uncomfortable because we've been pushed into this. Like that's just the natural setup, this heteronormative 1 man, 1 woman, 2.5 children. That's whatever statistic it is.
Yeah.
Do you know
literally 2.5 children, 2 kids, and then one just the waist up. It's just the waist up. Hey, no potty time for you.
But yeah, and I think because we've been programmed to be, that's the norm. That's what it should be. That's the dream, the picket fence, not because that's what it is in media, isn't it? That's what everyone should aim towards. And anything less than that, you're a spinster or.
Yeah, I think that is what is best for society as a culture, to stabilize society. Because, okay, in terms of, for example, very attractive, desirable men having multiple women, that's actually very normal. But that's not the main narrative, because 1, most men can't do that. But 2, if that was the main practice, then our culture and society would destabilize, because it's very like, if you have one guy and he has 5 women and all of them have 1 or 2 kids of him, he can't be the father he needs to be to all of those children that they would need. Right? And that's incredibly destabilizing. Now, for a culture, it's fine if a very small percentage of guys do that. But if every guy is doing that, like you mess up the next generation, culture kind of disintegrates, right? So I think a big reason why is because it's better for society as a whole if people are one monogamous. But then there's a question, even for some women, where there's an element of them wanting to have physical things elsewhere, which is, I mean, you're seeing the guy side of that. You know, some guys, I've seen the other side of it, if I'm being honest. Not loads of women, but a few, which I was like, wow, you've been married for 20 years. And you're like,
yeah. Oh yeah, I'm not
sliding
saying.
into my DM, just
I
like,
get this
do you know
a
what
lot
I mean?
as well. I get this a lot because when I talk about cheating and stuff on podcasts, I get so many people going, "Yeah, well, women are just as bad. Women, they may be. I have not been in relationships with women, so I cannot comment on that.
Would
Do you
you?
know what I mean? I am not saying women are any better. I just don't know. The same way that you're going, well, I've never cheated and so on, but you're not in relationships with men, so of course you're not going to have experienced this. We cannot possibly come to an agreement on this because we're arguing black and white. We're literally.
Would you be in a relationship with a woman?
I would, but not if I was going for a relationship. It's not an issue of like a gender issue or a sex issue or anything like that.
Wait, what do you mean?
So I'm attracted to who I'm attracted to. I'm not bothered how they identify or anything. It makes no odds to me. If I fancy him, I fancy him. That's
Okay.
that's be all and end all. So yeah, if I was going for a relationship, I wouldn't be like, I'm not going to be in a relationship with a woman, but I don't want any.
Sure. The only reason I asked that is because you said like the reason you didn't want to have a relationship is because you see from your experience what a lot of men are like. So that's why I was like, oh, okay, well, would you be in a relationship with a woman?
Oh, but obviously I hear what the men are saying about women and I see what some of the women are saying. I've seen, there was a post.
You just don't trust people, period.
Yeah, just people in general. Everyone is fucked. So
everyone is a dark horse and I'm not here for it.
You don't know what anyone's up to, so why bother trying? Stick to yourself. Crack on.
I hear that. I'll be honest, I think that's a sad perspective to take.
Oh, it's terribly sad.
I think that
very depressing outlook, I can't lie. I'm not promoting it to anyone.
Yeah,
because it's just,
do you not believe you can have that connection with one person where it's a level of reciprocated love, loyalty, and trust? Do you not believe that?
No.
Wow.
No, I don't. I don't trust people to say what they mean. I'm a very straightforward person. I'm very honest and people just. I'm not saying it's everybody. Obviously, there are people I know who are in relationships, and I truly want to believe that they have never been disloyal or anything. So I'm not saying it is 100% of people, but the statistics from what I've seen, what people are saying, and what the pros of a long-term relationship just don't seem to outweigh the cons. So just the risks are they don't win up to the rewards.
Well, according to statistics of what we know,
go on.
Guys cheat at around 27% of the time and women cheat around 24% of the time.
Yeah.
So it's very close. Now, 1 in 4 is statistically feels quite high, but that means 3 in 4, you're probably not going to experience that. So you're still more likely to be with somebody who is actually going to be faithful to you and be loyal in that sense. Do you not believe that? Possibly,
but then there's still the other factors that weigh into it of there's certain things you can and can't do when you're in a relationship. There are levels of control. You do have to compromise, and I'm not saying
control or boundaries.
Either way, whatever you want to call it boundaries. If you want to call it boundaries, it makes no difference. If you're not comfortable with me doing something that I want to do, and I don't do it then because of your boundary, that's completely fine, and that is the definition of respect. But I mean, in the sense of like, let me give it an example because I feel like I'm bordering on weird non-consensual stuff. And I don't mean like this. Do you know what I mean? I feel like we are examples is going a bit off.
Yeah.
But yeah, so say if I was in a relationship with someone and I wanted to sleep with somebody else, I just caught someone just caught my eye and I'm like, but his boundary is, well, no, we're monogamous and that's what I don't want to do. But I want to, and now I can't because of this agreement we've made, which I would respect, but there's still going to be a part of me that's not done something I want to do because of something. So I wouldn't ever go and cheat. I wouldn't ever cross someone's boundaries. So I don't want to be in a position where my life is impacted so heavily by somebody else's boundaries.
Is that really heavily though? Like you're in a relationship, you meet one guy one time that you would sleep with.
There's so many fit people. Oh my God.
Is that a big impact for you?
I fancy so many people. I am on it like all the time. I can't help myself.
So why not have an open relationship? Because
Because
that's
I
what
don't
would
want
actually
them
work
to
for
go
you.
and do all. Ideal for me, right? I've got loads of boyfriends. They're all
That's
faithful to me,
hilarious.
and I just can do as please.
You sound like a guy. That's like every
That's the
guy's
dream, though, isn't it? Isn't it though? Realistically, that's what everyone would want.
The thing is, you could have that, but there's a deal that comes with that though. So if you were, and I guess you kind of said you kind of like this within your relationships, but historically for guys, it was like, okay, I will provide and protect you. You don't have to worry about anything in that sense, but I may go and do what I want physically elsewhere, right? And some women, they're like, I can accept that.
Yeah.
They may not be happy with it, but they can accept it. Some, they're like, that's not for me. Some they can. So if you took that position for a guy, be like, okay, cool. I will provide for you, right? I'll take care of things, right? But you are loyal to me and I can go elsewhere. That's the scenario in which that would work for you. But then you would take the position of being the provider and maybe even protector, I guess.
Like
Could you do
sugar
that?
Mama.
Yeah, 100%.
That's what it'd be.
Would you do that?
I wouldn't mind doing that. That wouldn't be an issue.
There
But
we go.
again,
We found an avenue. We found a way. She could do it.
I'd have to really fancy him for that one to want to keep him on, because
I think that'd be hard.
people are quite replaceable. I know that's a very depressing statement, but
I think the kind of guy that would accept that would probably not be the kind of guy that you find that desirable.
yeah, strong possibility.
Damn.
Very strong
I
possibility.
thought I found an avenue, but I don't know. I don't know if I did.
Hope you really enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full episode where that clip is from, then I want you to click right here where you can watch the full episode. And if you're ready to claim your man today, enroll in my program below, and I'll see you there. Wishing you an amazing day.